Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Telemedicine Chick weekly show. My name is Lori, your host and your telemedicine chick. In this show, every week I come on and I tell you my experiences and my processes to getting my own private telemedicine practice going. But before we get started, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Please help me, help grow this channel, and then also subscribe so that you never miss when we're publishing our weekly show. So make sure you do that first, and then let's get into the show and see what I've been up to this week. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2. I'm your telemedicine chick, Lori. Today, we're going to start diving into me starting my own telemedicine practice. I have a little bit of an agenda, but at the same time, I don't, because I just want to be real and just kind of bring what's going on in my little mind we've got going on here. So let's get started. So this week, I want to talk to you about two things that I feel that were the first things that I really needed to start thinking about when starting my own telemedicine practice. Now, the first thing is my niche. Now, if you don't know what a niche is a specialty, right? Like it's almost like you're narrowing really deep into who you are going to target. And that is with any business, right? So when we're talking about healthcare, we're talking about what type of patient are you going to be focusing your care, who you're going to be targeting for when you're advertising, you're putting yourself out there. You're going to be like, I'm specializing in this area. And when I think about these things, and I think I kind of shared with you in the first episode that I've been wanting to start my own private practice now for over 7 years. And I tried it in the beginning and it didn't really work out. And that was okay. But it was also during a time when telemedicine, it was like over 7 years ago. If you think about I don't even know how I found the word telemedicine out there, but it was really, really in its infancy. And it was not easy for me. I mean, I'm a medical provider. I didn't have any experience of launching a business, doing social marketing, getting a website going, like all of these things. And when I went into it, most of my career has been working in what we call FQHCs, which are federally qualified healthcare centers. They provide healthcare to people who either don't have health insurance or are underinsured. And that has always been one of my passions, is helping people get access to healthcare when it's not really easy for them, right? So I've always had that passion because I believe that it is not a privilege, but it's a right to have access to healthcare. So when I heard about this telemedicine, it's like, oh, right now I'm doing my little community, but now I can branch out to like everywhere. I wanted to just help everybody with everything. So I never really had a niche. I mean, I even had a live Facebook show that was once a week, and I hit it all. I talked about every medical condition that I'm actually a women's health nurse practitioner. That's my specialty. So I had a show about PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, menopause. I mean, I was just all out there. And when I look back and what I have learned over the years is that you really do have to have a niche. And even if you look at lots of the other telemedicine platforms that are out there, they have niches, right? They have focused areas where they're focusing their attention to. And a lot of them are really successful. So I really needed to think to myself, okay, what is going to be my niche? Because women's health is my passion. And for me, and then about not quite a year yet, but I've been doing weight loss. And I will tell you, I absolutely love it. I love talking to people about it. I love educating. I love celebrating the accomplishments that people make with their weight loss journey. And so I really wanted to stay. I still want to have that as part of my niche, but I want to go deeper. And I want to go deeper because I want to get back to my roots of women's health. I feel like I've switched a little bit away from that. Not intentionally, but I've and I really want to get back to that. So the next part, I mean, this is an obvious one, right? I'm a women's health nurse practitioner. So my niche just got a little bit smaller and going to women's health. And then I think about in women's health, where do I even want to focus? Like, because I don't want to just be like, hey, whatever you have, I'm your girl, right? I want to narrow it down even further. And if I think about weight loss and I think about certain things that women's conditions that can make it a challenge to lose weight, I think about like definitely with our hormones. Our hormones, when they wreak havoc, let me tell you something. They can make it either difficult to lose weight or you can gain weight from it, or I don't need to explain it to you guys, right? So when I think about those things, I thought about like thyroid, right? To be honest with you, thyroid's not my thing. It's not been something that I've been passionate about. But one thing that I have been passionate about is PCOS. So I'm like, okay, PCOS, that could be an avenue. And then there is the perimenopause, menopause phase. And for me, always, like, not always, but it's always been, let's say, when I was younger in my career, I will tell you that the attraction of taking care of menopause patients was not very attractive to me because, to be honest with you, I understood the medical condition and the things that happen, but I couldn't relate, right? Because I was younger. I was more PCOS. I worked in Manhattan, in a clinic, and it was about, birth control, sexual health, safe sex, and all of that fun stuff. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it because I was younger at the time. Where now I'm at the other end of the phase of life, and I can say I'm officially a menopause right now, so I can relate to women who are going through and have been in menopause, and I can also definitely relate to where did this extra weight come from. So I'm kind of between the two, right? Do I want to just focus on PCOS because I've kind of been really passionate about it over the years, and I really love talking to patients about it and helping them with it? Or do I go the menopause, perimenopause, menopause? So I've kind of narrowed it down to the two. I think I may go the menopause route, but at the same time, I'm having a hard time letting go of PCOS, but I don't know if I can actually integrate the both of them into my practice. I probably can, but I really do believe that the more narrow your niche, the better success that you'll have. I guess that's the word, success. So I feel like this is a good win. I really have narrowed down exactly what I want. Not exactly, but really, really close. So I am either going to do just PCOS with that combination of weight loss, or I'm going to do that perimenopause, menopause with, again, the concept also of adding on weight loss and having that also helping balance their hormones with either one of those, right? So I'm excited about that. I am really pumped about it. So let's just say that I'm really excited. I found my niche. I got to tweak it a little bit. And that's what this whole process is about. And as the shows keep going on, I'm going to be able to like, yes, this is what I picked. Here, we're moving forward with it. But that is where I have come to. And that is going to kind of roll into the next part that I'm going to tell you has been very, very, very challenging. And that is naming my business. Now, let's talk about naming a business. Now, when you're starting a business, there's lots of things that I have researched, and I've dabbled in a lot of things, and that all these things we're going to be talking about over the weeks as I continue to create my private practice. But one of them is naming your business. And there's lots of different ways of you can do it, but the common thing that definitely comes out to me is that your business name should be really cool. It should be catchy. It should be easy to remember, right? Because if you're out there and you meet somebody and they say, "What do you do?" And you say, "Yeah, this is what I do." And then they're like, "Well, how can I look you up?" And you have this 20-word name business. People are going to be like, "I can't remember that," right? Or even if it's however long it is. If it's long, it's not as memorable. So you want an easy, memorable, catchy, but at the same time, it kind of relates to what I'm doing. Or does it really need to relate to what I'm doing? So those are the things that people say that you need to think about. And then also, I'm thinking about, I want to have something that creates, when somebody looks at that name or they see it or they hear it, I want them to think that, wow, that provider, she's caring. I could trust her. She's relatable. She's professional. She's a healthcare worker. Like, these are the things that I'm thinking that I want when someone reads or hears my business name, that they think of those things. And I have actually thought about just using my name, right? Because that's the easiest thing to do, because I already have my domain name, right? It's because who doesn't want their name in a domain name, right? I've had it for several years now. Obviously, I haven't done anything with it, but I do have that. But when I think about that, when I say, "Oh, and what is your website?" I mean, like LoriFaulkner.com, and they're going to be like, how do you spell that? Right? It's not a really easy name to actually type out or even to try to figure out, right? So as much as I thought to myself, hey, I'll just use my name, right? It's not relatable. It doesn't, maybe invokes trusting, because people like know and caring, because I feel that I am a trusting and caring person, and people, if they know me, would feel that. But at the same time, a lot of the people that are going to be coming to me are not going to really know me. So that one kind of just goes right out the door. And then when I look at other businesses, telemedicine businesses, a lot of them have just a simple name out there. It's easy. It's a one word. And as much as I feel like it needs to, quote unquote, relate to what I'm doing, I mean, come on. I'm sure that you've seen a lot of telemedicine platforms out there that have a single name that might not even exist, right? It's not a true name. And you really don't say to yourself, "Oh, that's a healthcare platform," right? So then I think to myself, well, how I want like these kind of criteria to invoke the name, to invoke these things, but really, does it? How much does it really need to do that? So I've enlisted my husband in this process. And yes, this is at this point a daily conversation. And I will tell you, we have come up with a lot of cool names. And when I say a lot, I'm going to say this because this is where the next frustrating part comes with it. So we come up with a name and we're like, this is awesome. All right. First thing we need to do, get on the computer and go www.com. It's taken. Oh, geez. Okay. Now let's go back to the drawing board. Or when you create a business, right? You're going to be creating a business legally within your state. You'll then have to go to the state website and look to see if that company name has been taken. And I'm sure that you have to even go further than that. But for simplicity's sakes, we're going to be talking about just doing it in your state. And that has actually happened where, oh my God, the domain name is available. So exciting. This is awesome. Let's rock it. And then I go to the state and I'm like, well, first off, it's taken. Sadness right there. And then I think to myself, and these people don't even have the website yet? How does that even happen in this day and age? But it has happened. So that has been the most frustrating part when it comes to naming my business, is we have come up with lots of cool names, with lots of different kind of concepts of, ooh, let's think of, names that relate to this or names relate to that. And, or even like taking a name and going, all right, well, maybe we can take this name and we can change the wording. So it still is the word, but it's just spelt differently, because a lot of people do that as well. And a lot of the times it's taken. So I'm almost a little bit at the point where I think every name out there is taken in a website, in a business, but not giving up, totally not giving up. My husband has been a rock star. He actually will come to me in the middle of the day and he'll be like, I think I found something. Okay, and then we'll do it. But it is the hottest topic at our dinner table every night, and we will keep going at it until we actually find the magic name. But I have to say that this has occupied my mind a lot. And what it has also done is it has prevented me from moving on in doing the things that I need to do in order to get my business going. Because somewhere in my mind, and it could be my little procrastination section inside my mind, is that I feel like I need to have a business name in order to move forward. I need my business name before I actually, sit down and have the conversation with the lawyers, because we want to make sure that we're doing everything legally, right? And so I've already vetted, I already have that lawyer that I need to speak to, but I haven't really taken the next step because, well, I'm going to need a business name for that. Or, well, I'm not really quite sure, I can't really develop my website yet because I don't have a business name, which is really not true. I mean, there's going to be content that needs to get into that website. I could be starting to develop that. I could start be mapping it out. There's so many things that I could be doing when it comes to that. And this not having my name has really put me somehow in a mental block of moving forward. So that has also been my challenge. And that is where as I've been thinking about this episode and what I'm going to talk about, I'm like, what am I doing? Right? This is a process. It's a process. But what I could be doing is every day I could be enlisting my husband at dinner time. We could coming up with more business names. But then when I'm away, I'm not like online just constantly thinking about this and constantly looking things up. I can actually start moving forward with everything else so that I can one step closer to getting to be launching my business. Because at the end of the day, we want to do that in as fast as as fast as we can, because we want to start our practice, but also making sure that we hit all of the things that we need to do. So my goal for the next week is that I am going to, one, reach out to that lawyer, and then two, I am going to start that website process. And that website process is probably going to be another kind of challenge thing, because there are a lot of different platforms out there, and which is the best, which has the best bells and whistles for what I need to use and what I needed to do. And also then you got to think about the cost of it. So that is going to be a challenge in itself, because I have kind of dipped into it a little bit, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll do this next week. Again, procrastination, not going to be doing that anymore. We're going to keep moving forward. So those are the things that I'm going to be doing over the next week. And maybe we'll be talking about that next week in our show. But those are the two things that I wanted to talk about today, is the importance of finding a niche. And I've done that. I've got to narrow it down a little bit more, but I'm really, really excited. And I feel like that is a huge win for me. And then the other part is naming that business. It's not so much of a win, right? Because it's still a process that's happening. But at the same time, excited for the adventure that it has been creating for me. And I'm hoping that I will be coming up, and maybe next week I'll be like, we found it and this is what it is. And I'm very, very excited. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, as I'm coming to the end of this show, I want to always at the end give you some kind of inspiration. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I don't want to just share my journey with you, but I'm hoping that everything that I'm talking about is inspiring you. And whether that is inspiring you to do something in your life in general, if it's something to inspire you in your career, or maybe your telemedicine career, that is my big goal when it comes to these shows. So this week, I want to talk about failure. And I think that failure is really, really important in the process of doing anything. So I want everybody to know that don't be afraid to fail. I feel failure is perfect, and I think that it's definitely needed. I tried a telemedicine practice over 7 years ago, and it didn't work out. And at the time, I was a little sad because I really wanted to do it. But at the same time, if I didn't fail, I wouldn't have learned all I've learned over the past 7 years. I wouldn't have had that experience. I've learned so much over the years about website marketing because I've always been still dipping into it. And then my experiences that I've had with the telemedicine positions that I've had. I've been a regional manager. I've been a clinical project manager. I've got the back end of what goes on when in a telemedicine platform. And so actually my failure of trying to go for that first telemedicine private practice has actually been a huge win when it comes to where I am today. And I'm really excited that I actually, if we want to call it failure, I had that failure. So whatever it is that you want to do, I challenge you to just go for it. And if you do fail at it, that's completely fine. It's perfect. It's what needs to happen in order for you to grow. And either when that happens, you go, you know what? That's okay. Brush off the dirt, pick yourself up and go, you know what? Now I know more and I'm going to go conquer that. I'm going to conquer it even better. Or you may actually say to yourself, well, I failed at that. But you know what I learned? I really don't even want to do that. So then it's going to get you a step closer to where you actually want to be. And I think that is actually amazing. So my words to you, know that failure is a part of the process and don't be afraid to fail. If that's what's holding you back from doing what you really want to do with all your heart, then try to brush that to the side and go, you know what? Failures just may be the process, and that's going to be okay. Most people are not going to make it the first time around. Now, they could, and that is awesome, but there is a possibility that you'll fail, and that is totally 100% okay, part of the process, perfect, and it's a learning experience. So those are my parting words to you. I hope that you find that inspiring in whatever it is that you want to do with your life. So, and this is the end of our second episode. I'm very excited. Make sure before you leave that you like and subscribe to wherever it is that you're listening or watching this, whether it's YouTube or any on podcast, all of them. I'm all on a whole bunch of them. But please make sure that you like and follow me to continue to go with me on this journey of me starting my private practice. I really enjoyed doing this show. I'm looking forward to coming on next week, and I I am going to still keep looking for that business name. I'm going to call that lawyer and schedule an appointment, and I'm going to start looking for those websites. But at the same time, who knows where the week will take me? We will find out next week when I come on. But until then, I hope that all of you have an amazing week, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.